Hey guys, Jean-Claude, and today we're going to be doing something quite a bit different. On your screen, I'm just going to have a game that I've been playing lately called League of Legends. Good chance a lot of you know about that. I had heard about it, but I had never started playing it until maybe, I don't know, 3-ish months ago. It's quite a bit of fun. So it just gives you something to look at as we do something a little bit different today. Quick note, this is going to be a spoiler alert, so if you don't want to know anything about Dark Tidings whatsoever, although this particular thing might have been unavoidable, you might want to turn back. So today what I want to discuss is the Low Tide, High Tide card. This card is going to be included in every single deck of Dark Tidings. It's the 38th card. And there's something about this card that has me just a little bit concerned. Why am I concerned, you asked? Balance. What I mean is that there is going to be a plethora of effects, presumably, that will be associated with this card. My concern comes from whether or not FFG can balance these effects across sets. So will you, as the non-Dark Tidings deck, be forced to pay 3 chains every single turn just to try and turn your opponent's effects off? Just to see them use something like an action on their following turn to turn the tide back in their favor while getting whatever effect they were going to get with that action anyway? Will cards that are affected by tide not be up to snuff compared to older cards or sets? These are things we don't know, and I believe that's why balance could be an issue here. We don't want the card's effects to be so completely overpowered that if we're playing a non-Dark Tidings deck, we don't want to feel obligated to have to keep paying 3 chains over and over. And I find it interesting that FFG landed on 3 chains to flip it, because even they know just how powerful chains are whenever you look at something like Binding Irons, which is a discard that says your opponent gains 3 chains. Well, that card is actually limited 2 per deck because they realized if you end up with way more of those, like if a deck had 4 or 5 of those in it, that deck itself could be extremely busted because preventing your opponent from drawing cards is a really, really big deal. So as the non-Dark Tidings player, the only interaction you have is gaining chains. That could be a really big issue, especially because I'm going to imagine a lot of these decks are going to have these cards that depend on the tide. Let's look at the flip side though. If these cards aren't good enough to compete with the old cards, and you had the additional condition of you potentially having to pay 3 chains just to make your card okay, well, that could be a huge balance issue as well, and that's honestly what I'm concerned about. I feel like there's going to be a lot riding on this card in the future, and it has such a huge impact on a game of Keyforge. At least that's how I view it. I hope you guys are kind of following along with what I'm saying here. I just really hope that the Low Tide, High Tide card is not going to be a mistake. Well, the whole idea with this video is just to give you guys my quick thoughts on this. I really hope it's not as disruptive as I think it could be, and I hope that they tested it out a lot, and the reason why they landed on 3 chains was an educated decision. Let me know in the comments down below if you like just a simple discussion like this sometimes. I wouldn't mind doing this a little bit more often. Alright guys, well thank you very much for watching my videos, and I'll see you next time.